Hey, welcome everybody. This is our first call of 2024. It's January. We had the most delightful, unexpected, tiniest snowflakes falling this morning. It seems to have stopped, but it added to the peacefulness of the morning, which peaceful is one of my intentions for the year. So that was really lovely. So today, I want to get us dreaming. Um, I want to give us, I want us to give our attention and our awareness to what is calling us forward. What are the, if you're not loving the word dreaming, what are the ideas? What are the desires? What are the wishes? What are the hopes? I'm going to use the word dreaming because that just works for me. But you're welcome to find another word that really lands for you. But the point of it all is going to be to explore first what dreams we're already living. That's one of my absolute favorite ways to do appreciating is to consider things that I dreamed that are now my reality, or not even now. Maybe they've come and gone. And that's the fun of it is sometimes you dream it, you wait. It comes, you experience it, and then that catapults you into another dream, another way of living, another way of being. Um, and what I love doing, why I love doing the let's check in on those dreams that we've already created and are living or have lived is just to get our muscle, our dreaming muscle awake and alive to the fact that, wow, we're really powerful critters here. Um, us humans, we may not always notice all the ways that we're doing a beautiful job of creating the things that we want because often they happen later. The dream is dreamed, then we live, then the dream pops in, but we're already thinking about the next thing that isn't there. So we don't always put our focus and attention on the thing that we dreamed that we now have lived our way into. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to consider what's calling us forward. What are the dreams, the ideas, the projects, the ways of living that are sparked in us, that are alive in us? And then maybe the biggest and best question of all is what are the feelings that we believe we're going to feel in having the dream? So for years and years and years, it was all about like creating the dream and getting to the trip or the project or the relationship. But when I learned that it's really about recognizing that there's a feeling that I'm after, and there's things that I can do right now to evoke that feeling, and the more I tune to that feeling state, the more I evoke that in me, the more I practice that muscle. um, Sometimes the dream comes, but sometimes the feeling is enough, and that state of being able to evoke a feeling state, like turning a tuner on your radio dial to a station that you want to hear, being able to do that, that that's a dream come true. That's an incredible way to operate, and finding out what are the things that get me there. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to settle, and then we're going to get writing. But let's do a little what's swirling first. So take a breath. And let's pull out our writing implements. And before we try to settle our bodies and land with a settling that I'll walk us through, let's do just a couple of minutes of what's swirling. And a way to get into that is when I tune into myself, thoughts, feelings, knowings, body sensations, I notice ... So as we are embarking on this adventure for the next hour and a half, let's take a moment to come inward and really hear what's going on in and around this whole human system of ours. And we'll just do 3.5 minutes on that one. So the prompt is, what's swirling? When I go inward, what do I notice? Here we go. What's swirling? All right, beautiful. So wrap that up and just be aware. Maybe there's a lot swirling, maybe there's not that much swirling. So either way, you're just giving a little time and space to pausing and noticing. And that's always valuable. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to turn my camera off. You all, oh, a few of you are there. Hi. Um, I'm going to invite everybody. You're welcome to keep it on, but I'm going to turn mine off just so that I can settle in and feel like I can relax into getting us nice and settled. So I'm going to invite you to put everything down so your hands are free. And I'm going to suggest that you wiggle and stretch a little bit. And just go ahead and look around. Take a minute and look at the space you're in. Look at the things around you. If you're near a window, look out the window and just see what you notice. Really take some moments to see with your eyes and sense with your other senses this life you're living. Now start to bring your awareness more inward. Become aware of your breath. Really notice the sensations of the air moving in and out. Oh, wow. I was muted that whole time. I did not intend to be muted. I am so sorry. So that was different than I had anticipated. So take another minute. I'm going to trust that was just what everybody needed. We'll take some deep breaths. And let's wiggle fingers and toes and come back. And before you come back and listen to what I have to say, just take a moment and ask yourself, what do I want to give myself today for this next hour plus? Hmm. What would I hope to leave with? And just take a moment to stretch and wiggle. And if you want to jot anything down, go for it. And if not, just take another moment and settle in with yourself. And then we'll get writing. Hmm. Hi. Well, there you have it. That was an unintended quiet meditation. So for those of you that it worked well for, great. And for those of you who were confused, I apologize. And I think it made it on the recording. We'll see. That doesn't help us here. But point is, I will pay more attention. That was very unusual. Okay. I was in there, so I didn't even notice on the chat that that you couldn't hear me. Um, Dreaming. Okay, let's do it. So again, welcome. I am beyond thrilled that you're here. This is a dream. Having wow, this is certainly a dream. So a group of you to play with monthly to dive in and the guidebook, all things that I have dreamed of, and here it is. So I'm a big proponent of putting it out there. It's what I've been doing. So I always like to remember. So we're going to get writing in about 3 or 4 minutes, but I want to share a little bit first. When I was thinking about our time today, I was really aware of how for I'm going to say the first 30 years of my life, I remember where I was in Santa Barbara when I sort of woke up to this idea of writing and putting things out there. It was in about 2020, no, 2002, 2001, 2002. So I like to say for the first 30 years of my life here, I was living a great life. I definitely put things out there. Oh, I want to go to this college. Oh, I'm going to this college. Okay, I want to go to grad school. Okay, I'm going to grad school. Um, I would throw things out there and they would happen, but I wasn't connecting them. And so in about 2002, I was living in Santa Barbara. I was working with a family, and a woman introduced me to a process called Your Best Year Yet. And we did some writing. She was a coach and she used the book. And it was an incredible process. And it was something that I have done a version of since then. So for the last 20 plus years, 22 years, I have been very intentional about dreaming. Um, and it doesn't really matter how I do it. It's just the act of doing it that is really valuable. And so I have lots more to say about it, but I really want to get us writing. The one thing I want to do is really recognize, like I said earlier in the call in the beginning, that I'm imagining, I would be very surprised if anybody on this call could say, there's not one thing that I said I wanted that I'm living now. Like I believe, especially in a group like this, if you have the time and resources and the inclination to jump on a call with me and play in this realm of clarity, you're very aware of the fact that there's things that you wished for, or you said you wanted to do, or you held in your heart that didn't exist or wasn't a part of your reality, and now it is. And so to wake up to the fact that we do that a lot, and we do it on simple things like, oh, I'd love to eat this thing, and then all of a sudden within days or minutes you're eating that thing. I mean, that's a very small one, but it's an example of like, wow, that's what we do. We say it, we toss it out there, and then we walk our way into it. And sometimes it's a long, slow walk, and sometimes it's a instant. So as I said earlier, what I want to do is really look back, especially you could frame it around this year. You know, here we are, we started a new calendar year. So if you want to kind of recap 2023 with the prompt, great. But if you can also go, the whole of your life and anything in between. You could do last week. So you decide how you want to do this, but we're going to take a little bit longer than I typically do. I don't have a lot of prompts today, but I want to give a little more space and a little more time so that we can all sink in a little differently. And so I think we're going to get writing. Like I said, I have more to say, but I don't think you need it. I think we just need to get to it. And yeah, let's do it. I'm going to let that breathe. So the first prompt of our time together this morning is, what are dreams I dreamed that I'm now living? So one of my all-time favorite questions. So write that. What are dreams I dreamed that I am now living? And before you get going, let me share a little bit about what I mean. So, like I said, whether it's things that came true this past year or before, what can I point to in my life and say, oh, wow, that was once a dream and it came true? So consider the people in your life, the relationships you have, the places you are, the places you visit, the things you do for play, for work, the passions you have, the things that you have. There's lots of categories. So, and, yeah. So just let's get writing. I'm going to give this one 5 minutes because I really want you to take a little time and dig in there. Actually, 5.5, just because I like that extra little bit. So the prompt is, what are dreams I dreamed that I am now or have lived? Let's go. See where it takes you. All right. So just take a moment and check in with yourself. How does that feel to give your attention to the things that you wished for or dreamed or had ideas of that became part of your life, part of your reality? Just check in. Does it enliven you? Where does it take you? That's my curiosity. That's just a personal question to ask yourself. So part of that was just to get our appreciation muscle going. And to me, the two best uses of my thinker seem to be appreciating what is, or appreciating anything, and then dreaming. Um, and what I know about the dreaming is, uh, I think I didn't get raised by dreamers necessarily. My parents were incredibly loving and generous and wonderfully indulgent of things that I wanted to try. I got to take lessons and do all sorts of amazing things, but I wouldn't say they had a strong dreaming muscle. And so, what I had to learn it. I really had to cultivate the skill. And what I also learned in doing it was that a lot of times I would consider a dream, especially if it was what I would consider a big one, and in a millisecond, like with no space between the dream, and I would go into doubt, or I would think, oh, well, how's that going to happen? Or that can't happen. And what I had to learn to do was toss the dreams out almost like seeds and not get hooked to the how. I had enough experience over these years of putting things out there, letting them be, not trying to figure it out, and then they arrive. And most of the arriving had less to do with the actions that I put into it and more to do with the state of my own being that I was cultivating. Um, so an example of that would be wishing that I could live in hotels for a period of time. I thought maybe 3 months, maybe a year, and really just having that desire. I remember exactly where I was in October, saying to a friend that I was on a little trip with, oh, I'd love to live in a hotel like this for a little while. And it felt like the most absurd out there idea. I mean, I knew people did it, but I had no idea how I would do it. So it was an easy one just to toss out. And then that May, so the dream was in October, that May, um, my roof blew off my house during a storm. It actually blew off, and I was forced out of my house. There was no roof. I couldn't live there. And my insurance company was fantastic, and I got paid to live in hotels for a year and get rid of my stuff, which was another dream. So I use that example a lot because it's a big one. But the point is, I didn't think, oh, I have to figure out how that's going to happen. I tossed it out there. I let it be. I didn't put my attention on it so much, but I did a lot of appreciating during that time. And I was using all these tools that I'm giving you all. And I've been working with you all, many of you, for a long time. And that happened. It happened with houses that I've lived in. It's happened with moving to Maine. It's happened with all sorts of stuff. So my point in sharing that is dreaming may or may not be comfortable, and it's worth working the muscle, because for me, maybe there's things I've dreamed that I am unaware of. Maybe they haven't happened yet. I mean, there are a few things, but not that much. Um, And when they pop in, that'll be great. But the act of dreaming is a fun way to use this thing versus worrying or versus trying to figure things out. Just the joy of, ooh, let me tap in and see what's calling me forward. So that's our next prompt is um, let me get my notes. What dreams are calling me forward? So that's the prompt. What dreams are calling me forward? And if dreams is too big a word, if it's too loaded, what ideas are calling me forward? What joys are calling me forward? So what I mean by what dreams are calling me forward, it's really what feels exciting when I consider the possibility. Again, without knowing how, just what feels exciting, what feels fun when I imagine it. What ideas spark a sense of aliveness in me? What feels meaningful to explore? I mean, you can answer all these questions. The point of giving them to you is really just to get your juices flowing, but go ahead by all means, like use them. What feels worthy of my time and energy? I mean, we have limited time here. I know we all know that, but it's always good to remember that we're not unlimited here. You know, we are in certain ways, but time-wise, this plane of existence is temporary. So how do I want to use the limited time? How do I want to give, where do I want to give my energy? What's actually important to me? What are desires that feel like they expand me, that they deepen me? What feels like it'll bring me more of me? Like what's calling me? So it could be relationships, it could be experiences, it could be things around our health, creativity, projects, just not just spirituality. You know, maybe there's a deepening that you want to experience in your perceptive system, your awareness, adventures you want to have, work you want to do, play, passions, hobbies. I know enough of you, and I've been at this long enough that I've held dreams that many of you thought couldn't happen, and you're living them. And I've watched that. And it's one of my greatest joys. It's why I want to call myself a celebrationist from here on out, because people share. I get to extract dreams from people. They tell me, and then I put them in a little mental file, and then I just watch, and poof, the email comes, or we get a conversation, and it's happening. So I'm also going to put up I'm going to screen share the list from our guidebook, because I thought that's a really good way to access the dreams. So let me put that up for you so you can see it while you're doing the writing. And I just want you to have fun with this, because really that's the point. It's that we can access a sense of fun. So let's take some time, like actual joyful time. I really think this is a good one. I'm going to give it 9 minutes and really let us all go through and consider dreams that you are the dreams that are calling you forward. Let's see what happens. Make a list. Let's go. Let's see where it takes us. What dreams are calling me forward? And you could be tiny or it could be giant, and anything in between. So really let it flow, and don't censor yourself. Just let it all out. Mm. Take 2 more minutes on that one. I think it's worth it. All right, lovely. So now, again, take a minute and just feel into how you're feeling after doing that. I don't normally open it up, but I'd love to hear whether it's in the chat or anybody wants to pop on for a very brief, actually keep it in the chat for now because that's easier for me to do as we're moving. So if anybody wants to share, I'll take a pause. And if you want to keep going on this, we'll take just like a 2 minute and I'll keep an eye on the chat. If anybody has a question or something isn't making sense, or you want to share an aha that's come up from the either the what dreams am I living or what's calling me forward prompts. Or if there's a dream you want me to hold, because I love doing that. So yeah, just take another minute and feel into if you want to circle anything. Well, that's what we're going to actually go ahead and do next. So Vicky shared, I love to use the language of surprise me, show me, delight me. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Surprise me, universe, humans, others, world. Jennifer said, it felt great to jumpstart dreaming again. Having the expansive space and time for the writing allows me to go to the deeper layers. Yeah, I felt like today needed more space. This wasn't a quickie. This felt like let's open it. And maybe on Thursday, if you want to jump in again, I'll make them even a little bit longer. Because to me, there's no limit on, here's the thing. I will do this a few times, both to get ready for you all and then to do it. Because while I'm sitting here, I'm doing it too. and I always get more. And sometimes what the more is just the real clarity that the direction I want to be heading is like deep in me. Like it's not a, oh, that's a nice idea. It's like, ah, that one's big because I keep writing it. It's like that one comes up over and over. Let's see. Anne said, oh, wow. Oh, good. I love this. We're going to take a little pause and then top of the hour, we're going to get writing again. So 2 more minutes I'm going to read. So you can either stick with me or go ahead back into yourself. And then I'll bring us back in a minute or two. Because I want to read these. I think they're valuable. Monica shared, I'm dreaming extreme clarity in my business, 3 things to focus on that will make me feel successful, joyful, and helpful to my tribe. That's beautiful, Monica, and super clear. The way you said it is clear. Anne said, putting live overseas into the universe, unearthed today. Ooh, a new dream. I love that. Ooh, that makes my butt wiggle. That's a good one. Cheryl said, I think it moved me from a place of fear about all the changes happening in my life this year to a place of excitement that there's so much to look forward to. That is beautiful, Cheryl. And then Jennifer said, I imagine I'll continue to keep this list out for the next couple of weeks to keep adding to it. I would highly recommend that. And what I've been doing in here is what I'm realizing is I like to circle back. So I've been putting, like, I'll go a pass, especially around the dreams. I'll do a round and then I'll go back and I'll date it, and or I'll use a different color pen and I'll do another round. So use these, they're valuable. And then I also have lists on my, so when I was planning for today, I went ahead and did a search for dream in my Google Docs or dreams. And I found a list of 50 that I had written a few years ago, probably 5 years ago. And it was fun to go and check off the things that have happened and then to revisit the things that haven't happened and to really ask myself, is that still there? Is that still something I want to do or want to explore or want to create? So I thought that was really fun to be able, like, that to me, having a list of dreams somewhere that I can see again, not just in a journal, is very thrilling to me. Kendra said, I could easily predict the forgetting of an almost insurmountable health situation for my son. I pre-minded myself that once he became well, I must always remember that nothing further could scare or upset me and to remain grateful for our lives. You're doing it, Kendra. I know that. And it's giant. Marissa said, I really appreciated hearing you say your parents didn't encourage dreaming. You have encouraged dreaming for me. And while I'm stepping into it for myself, I realize I want to encourage it for my people. I want to model it and do it alongside them. That's it. That's totally the way to go. Just, hey, y'all, I did my dreaming today. Anybody want to throw some dreams out? That's how it happens. Speak the language. Just speak it, live it, be it. There was one of you shared, when I look at my list of dreams, they feel more like shoulds, and I almost feel like I'm fearful of dreaming too big. Yes, I get that. Even though I had a great list of dreams fulfilled, I don't know why this is so squishy for me this morning. I hear you. So let it be and ask yourself, that's a good question. Like, I think that most of us didn't get wired to believe that we get to dream. And so one of my dreams was to have somebody help me learn how to be in my body. And I found a person who is teaching me Pilates from a very basic, like, we're not even doing the exercises yet. She's helping me relearn how to use this corpus. And so why that's relevant is it's because I don't have the wiring yet. I have to relearn it, and it's not comfortable because it's making me do things that don't always feel familiar because that's not how I learned to use it. And so I want to encourage everybody to have a lot of compassion and patience if the dreaming feels awkward. But remember that you can look back and show yourself that, like, so much has happened. So we're just working it. We're working the muscle. That's all we're doing. Last one, and then I'll get back to it. I was able to move through doubt and some heaviness into my core, and I've been out of touch with, that for a while. Dreaming sometimes does not feel great to me because I anticipate failure. The imagery about casting dreams like seeds was just what I needed. That's beautiful, Claire. And I agree. I think like I said, often the dream shows itself, and then there's like an instant sadness or anger or frustration or whatever, or fear that it won't happen, and we get tangled up. That's like a tangle. And what I'm saying is, yeah, let's just toss it. Things take time. We don't have the vibrational awareness to allow the things that we're wishing, and that's what we need to work our way into, and that can take time. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. Oh, I want to read this one more thing because I think it's valuable. I think we were conditioned to dream about specific things that would make us productive members of society. And there were a lot of pressures around those dreams. What do you want to do when you grow up? Oh, that's a very good point. I think the freedom to just dream about what will light you up is a huge shift we all need. Yeah, I'm right with you. My dreams now, for years, my dreams were build and create and make things happen. And I did it. I made all sorts of great things happen. And I'm at this point where my dreams are, and I'm living this beautiful life. And now I just want more simplicity and more space and more things that are enlivening to me. And y'all are a part of that, and my coaching clients. And there'll be more, but right now it feels so good to dream more about what's essential and simple. One more. It's taken me a lot of years to learn how to dream as a mother. I think my way of dreaming before was really dependent on a certain level of independence and freedom in my life. But after a lot of years, I'm figuring it out. Yes, beautiful. Okay, that was fun. I'm really glad I opened it because I really love hearing from you. And now my second favorite part of this, the dreaming's fun, but the next part is sometimes even more fun. And that is really, what are the feelings that I think having these dreams will give me? What do I believe that these dreams will evoke in me? Let's get down to the real feeling of it, because that's what we're after. We wouldn't dream something that we didn't have a sense of, oh, but there's a state that it's going to put me in. When I have that, I will feel ... It's like, that's what we need to go for. That's what we want to pay attention to, because the truth is we have a lot more access to that in the here and now than we do the thing that might feel bigger and grander. So let's play in that realm. So the next piece is, what are the feelings I believe having those dreams will evoke in me? What are the feelings I believe having those dreams will evoke in me? All right, we're going to take six 6 minutes on that one, which is a nice chunk. So just go through, maybe make a note, circle things. You're trying to, oh, hold on. I started it, but let me pause. All you're trying to do is ask yourself, okay, if I'm really wanting that to happen, if that's a dream, what's the feeling that I'm believing I'll get from having it? There you go. 6.5. All right. So now take those feeling states that you're looking to feel through these dreams and really make a little list and see, are there any that are like brightly lit for you? Maybe it's one feeling state that's like, that's what I'm going for. Maybe it's more, maybe it's a few. Um, what came for me, and these kind of bubbled up and out, but I keep checking in on them to see, is that really it? And they just keep coming back. And it's, for me, it's to feel clear, peaceful, and free. Like those are my top of this year. And I've had other years, uh, they change. So these are the ones that I'm giving my focus and energy to, at least for now. Could change next month, could change next quarter, might be the rest of my life. I don't know. But in terms of having a clear sense of the feeling states that I want to plug myself into, which may get me to my dreams, but also may just feel really good in the here and now. It's just a way of caring for myself and being honest with what it is I'm wanting to experience. And so I wrote those down for myself. And what I want to do for our next writing is, what gets me there? So I know there's dreams, and some of them you might go, oh, great. Now I know I can go make that happen. But some might live further out. And if that's the case, and they really are meaningful to you because the way you think you're going to feel is so pulling you, that's the motor running. Um, let's do what we can to access that. Let's not wait till it happens. Let's start working with it and giving ourselves opportunities to go, oh, wow, that's the feeling I've been looking for. Ooh, that feels really good. Oh, I want to feel connected. I want to feel more joyful. I want to have moments of feeling really loving. Like, okay, great. What can you do in your own life right now that might be take seconds, it might take minutes, it might take hours, it might take longer, but you're at least plugging in and noticing, wow, when I do X, or when I think X, or when I feel X, I get more. I'm tuning to that station and I'm giving my focus to that direction that I want to be creating more of. So let's play. What gets you there? So go ahead and write down 1, 2, 3, however many of the feeling states that are really alive in you that you want to play with, and ask yourself, what gets me there? And it might be, surprise, the things that are fortifying. So you might want to come back and ask yourself, look at this list. What are the things that allow me to get tuned to that station in myself, both what I'm perceiving and what I'm broadcasting? And it's way easier to affect the broadcast. And then inevitably you start to hear more of what you're looking for out there, but start with inside. So, for example, if you want to feel more clear this year, what are ways? For me, that's daily clarity writing. That's these calls. That is going on walks without my phone and hearing myself instead of all the noise. That is getting good rest, things like that. So let's take about 5 minutes and play with that. What are the ways that I can access these feeling states now? What gets me there? Here we go. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. All right, see where that takes you. Oh, and let me give you one little extra. if it's a step toward the dream, even better. Doesn't have to be, but if it's something that you think, oh, that's actually going to bring the dream, or that's moving me toward the dream or allowing me to experience the dream, do it. But if the dream feels way far off, figure out what the feeling is so you can start just getting the feeling now. All right. So now our last piece, and then I'll open it up for discussion, um, is to write the story. Um, and here's what's fun. So between now and August, we have 8 months. So it's not exactly the time of a gestation, but it's almost of a human baby. So what I plan to do is between now and then, really give us opportunities to play in the realm of dreaming and become much more skillful. You know, to me, clarity and dreaming are kind of the same thing in a way. So for the rest of this experience that I'll be doing, you're welcome to join me. I hope you do. Um, I'm going to be really playing in this realm of like, how do we allow more of what we dream of to emerge? Um, and when you think about a human baby, they're conceived, and then it takes 9 months for them to come out. And there's several of those months where there's no real like physical indication that they're in there. I mean, you don't look pregnant right away. So what if you gave yourself that much time plus? What if you gave yourself a year, let's say? I'm going to play in the realm of 9 months, 8, 9 months, because I think that's fun. Um, but what if you gave yourself a year? What if you gave yourself 7 years to really let these seeds, sprout, I'm using all the metaphors today, and let things grow without the feeling of, I got to make sure it's growing. I've got to do everything like, what if you throw it out there and you just let it breathe and you go ahead and find ways to feel those feelings? So that's the story that I want to write for myself and invite you to do as well, which is write the story of this year. Just play with it. That means nothing. I can't promise you what's going to happen. When we did this in January of 2020, there was no possible way I could have imagined that there would be a pandemic and what would happen. However, the beginning of that year, my intentions were to really be slow and spacious, and that certainly unfolded. So I don't know what will happen in any of our lives, but I do know that it's a lot of fun to use our imagination to tell the best feeling, not even just a good feeling, but the best feeling story of how the year could unfold based on the dreams you just wrote about and the things that the feeling states that you want to feel more of, and the ways you're going to be caring for yourself that tap you into those feeling states. So the prompt is, uh, what's the story of this year? So it's January 2025 and life is. So imagine you are sitting here and we're back here in January, and you're telling the story of what unfolded for you. Whether it unfolds that way or not, just have fun with it. We're just playing make believe. We're just enjoying the ride, and we're gonna take about 5 minutes for this one. So take a moment, feel into it, and then like let it bubble up, not top down. Don't let your head be too involved. Let it be heart and gut. It's January 2025 and life is. See what you write. Mm. Okay, we did it. Well done. And again, if you want to do it again on Thursday, join me. So before I wrap us up, and then I'll open it for conversation, there were two things that I wanted to mention. Um, One of you mentioned in the chat this very normal thing that happens when we start to dream, which is a lot of times the doubt or the fear comes up. And so next month in February, that's where we're going to go. So I'll teach you all. Some of you know it because I shared it years ago. It's something I created that I call the love ladder. That's a process for walking ourselves out of fear and resistance up into love and flow. So that will be next month. And I love that process. So please join us because it's going to be fun. And it's something that you can use a lot. It's a really valuable tool. The next thing is that I always forget to mention, but love to mention when we're doing, especially when you're creating intentions. So my hope is that there are some feeling state words, 1, 2, 3, maybe more, but however many, that you're going to be mindful of, you're going to give energy to, you're going to work to cultivate this year, which I would call my intentions. So I would say my intentions are to feel clear, peaceful, and free. Um, and what I've learned over the years very clearly, for me, maybe it won't happen to you, but I guess I'm saying don't expect it, but don't be surprised by it. Historically, and it happened recently, when I get that clarity of where I'm going and what I want to be focusing on, specifically the feeling, there'll be a time of excitement and fun. And like, I'll start like, oh, this is a piece of cake. I got this. And I'll be feeling it all. And I'll just notice all the ways I'm clear and all the ways I'm free and all the ways I feel peaceful. And then sometimes it happens right away, but sometimes it happens in a few weeks. Sometimes it happens in months, but not usually. It's really usually pretty quick if I'm focusing on it. Uh, Not that. All the things that are not those feelings start to show themselves. And it can be very disorienting, very disconcerting, and evocative. And what I've found is when I notice and allow whatever feelings are bubbling up, the frustration or the fear or the sadness or the grief. If I can let that through, when I let that through, uh, things lighten. And I do, then it's almost like, so there's the dream of the feelings I want over here. It's kind of like its own new platform. I've been operating over here. I become aware of up here. That all looks fun. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And then boom, oh, I'm not doing it at all. It's not even accessible to me. And then feel, cry, 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 explore, explore, explore. I jump. And then that's my new normal. So my point in sharing that is that might happen as you change frequencies, as you decide, I want to operate in a different stream. I want to listen to a different channel. It may happen very seamlessly, but if it doesn't, just know that that's a part of a process. It doesn't have to be everybody's process, but that seems to be a pattern that I notice in my life. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then, do the future writing. You can do that for all sorts of things. I do it a lot because I want to give myself a chance of dreaming into the possibility that aligns with what I'm about and what I want. And when I don't do it, things don't, either they don't go quite as well as I want, or I just don't have as much fun watching them unfold because I didn't dream it. So play with these tools as much as you possibly can. Be very generous with yourself with them. So on that note, let's take a moment and just breathe. Let's take 2 minutes. I'm not going to turn my camera off and I'm not going to turn my microphone off. And I'm just going to let you savor what you just did. So just take 2 minutes, close your eyes, leave them open, however you feel, and just feel into yourself. You did good work today. Thank you for being here. Put a little hand on your heart and just say thank you to yourself. All right. Thank you for being here, truly and sincerely. And I will be doing this again on Thursday. And I think in the email I sent, I said I would do it at a different time, but I'm going to keep the same time. So 11 Eastern, just because it's too confusing to mix up the times. So if you want more, if you want another spacious writing date, come join us. And then if not, come back next month because we're going to keep building on this. And I really just thank you. It's really rich to be here with you. So if you need to go, go. If you want to stay and be in on the conversation, I would love it. So welcome. Yay. Thank you. More. Let's go. I'm looking at the chat. Cheryl said, I can't tell you how much I needed this. I feel so much better than when I sat down. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I saw your cute pups too. That was fun. I was like, who has the sweet pups? All right, let's chat. What do you have for me? I want to hear from you. Let me share this. One of my sort of under the umbrella of clear, peaceful, and free intentions is close in. I want my experiences close in. And this is close, but now hearing you, that's the yumminess. So please share what's cooking, ask questions, share insights. This is where the juice is when we all share voices. So tell me things. Alex, you up?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Um, I don't know if this would be helpful to anybody else, but as I look back over the things that I wrote down, I'm so surprised because one of the very first dreams I wrote calling me forward is like career, work, where am I going? What is it going to be? Is it time to change in a big way? And as we get to the end, and I did the future writing, sort of write the story. Not a single thing had to do with career work. It was like, no, put that in the back. It will come, it will unfold. And it was just so many more of the little things that I know I want to take up more space in my life.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't know how to get there. And in the writing the story, all of these things just um poured out of me that were good ideas that I didn't even think I had in me.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that. And it just brings me back to something that you've said so many times with the ups and downs, of like, oh, I'm gonna go there, and then you go up and then you go down and
Yeah.
then you go up, is that this little mantra of trust the timing of my own life. It's just that's such a little bit of a dose of self-compassion going through it all, and sort of um yeah, so this writing has been very valuable. I appreciate it. I'm so surprised and delighted, and I'm going to keep trying to trust the timing of my own life.
That one just like trust the timing of my own life. Brilliant wisdom. I'm so glad you shared that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Keep me posted. That's beautiful. Amelia,
I Today is my 65th birthday. So thank y'all
happy
for this
birthday.
gift.
Happy birthday. We had two birthdays on here too, Liz as well. So you guys are
Oh
birthday sisters.
boy.
Happy
Yay.
birthday to both of you. What
Thank
a
you.
way to start. Tell me about it. How did
I
it go?
know, right? Um, Good. I mean, it's just good to pause and kind of like uh, the other person was sharing, it's like, yeah, I loved focusing on the intentions, just those words and what it brought up, and just, that longing in my heart for, um, finding my tribe and my community and that connection and people of
Mm.
all ages. And, I don't know exactly. I mean, it's been in my heart for decades now, right? And, and it is part of my life, but it's not, I don't know. Anyway, so just realizing that that's, still there, and yet kind of wanting to expand it beyond where I am right now, and where that beyond is, I don't know, I don't know.
I
So
love it. I think it's so crystal clear.
yeah.
So now you get to go and find little gems of connection and expansion and community that feel like that give you that feeling. Like go on a little delightful adventure and collect
Right.
little experiences and watch the whole thing just grow.
Yeah, yeah, well, thanks. And,
Thank you. And honestly, I feel like you told me that when we met however long ago, 15, 20 years ago.
oh, I know, right? Yeah.
Okay.
I
Or
mean, yeah, it's been 15
awesome.
years, I think.
Yeah, and here you are in a multi-age community experience. You
Exactly.
did it.
Um,
Happy birthday. I love it.
Thank you. And one of my just practical questions is, I love these. Honestly, I get them and they're sitting over here, but is there some guidance to how I can, because I do have morning time most every morning, and I do some journaling and things, um, but I don't know. I haven't really picked up this to include. So are there some tidbits on
Good
how to
question.
interact with the
I
journal more?
it's a great question. I'm realizing that it might require, my whole intention was to do an experiment of getting us all offline. And what I'm coming to realize is like that we may not have the wiring to, some of us do and some of us don't, myself included. Like I pick it up because I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play with this. And the minute I open it and if I even do one thing, I'm thrilled. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I get inspired because then I'm like, oh, I want to fill it. This is a blank one, but my other one is pretty good. But so my point is, I did have a thought of sending an email once a week, just as like, hey, what if go to this page and work on like play around with some dreaming this week? Or would that be helpful? Do you need a cue? Is there something that you think would
I
be,
think something like a touchstone, not necessarily a daily thing, but a
no,
week
it wouldn't be
might just
daily.
be, yeah, just a little,
Okay, I can do
hey,
that.
think
That
about
was
this,
in the hopper, but I wasn't sure.
right?
And now it's like, yeah, okay. So starting either that maybe this week or next week, I will send an email with some ideas for playing with the book.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Let me see. I think Trisha, did you say you would like to hop on? Oh no, Claire. I saw your sister online the other day, so that's funny. Claire,
Um,
hi.
Hi, and happy birthday to all the Capricorns. Um, so Carrie, I have like this kind of big comment to share. You and us all are really like, I think tapping into something like this whole past 10 days or so. I was like, oh, good, there's a new session with Carrie coming up. And oh, crap, I don't know what I'm going to say. And over the past 10 days, I've encountered in various ways, like messaging, like reminders, like I'm like, why is it so hard for me to set goals and plan? Like I bump up against something every time we do that, and I keep trying.
Mm.
But like I realized this doesn't feel good for me. Why? What's happening? And so I don't know how you picked up on that, but what you did today, like what you walked us through, was super helpful and a real energy shift for me. And like what everybody else is saying and what you talked about, like this is old messaging. And it's good to kind of unravel those old lumps of clay and reshape them. And so that today was very helpful. So I just wanted to let you know and say thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad. And next month we'll do another layer of that, because that's what I'm realizing. It's one thing to dream and to be excited about possibility, but then we have to knock out the things that have kept us from doing it already. So let's play. We'll just keep playing.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
Have a great month. Lots
Thank
of
you.
love. Thank you. Kendra?
I didn't have anything to say. I think I
Oh.
put thumbs up when you asked if anyone would like an email with a page number.
Oh, awesome. You will get that. I'm so happy to hear that. Anything else? Oh, okay. Monica?
Hi. I just wanted to tell you that first time that I hear that you said today about that sometimes you have your intention and then suddenly it's all the opposite. You're living all the opposite. And that happened to me this year because our last meeting, I said I'm going to my focus was going to be spaciousness. So because the last year was like so full, I didn't have time to breathe. So I said, okay, next year, this is not going to happen again. I'm going to make a space in between things so I can breathe. So this year started and it was again full and I couldn't breathe. I said, I'm not doing well my job. So I got very frustrated, very like, why is it is happening again, even after I put the intention that I need a space. So I'm so glad you said that because now I feel it's not just me. So it's normal that that happens. So yes, and even the good thing I noticed it. I said this is happening and I don't want this. So at least I noticed. So I'm hoping I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah, I know you are, and I know that feeling. So I'm totally with you. And it can take as long as it takes. And what I would recommend is start your day giving yourself something that feels spacious. So if it's sitting with a cup of coffee and looking out the window and it's 10 seconds and you're like, oh, look at me feeling spacious, like play your way into it so that the spacious awareness gets as much attention as the thing you don't want. Because once you make the shift to that getting a little more, you'll start to move in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't know it, it's so easy, especially when we say, oh, I want to feel this way, then the not that starts to get our fuller attention, which is not how we want to give it. Right. So for me, it's a lot of playing games of like, okay, what gives me that? That's the whole point. What gives me that feeling of spaciousness? So how can I practice that over the next little while and just like start believing that I'm in that flow?
Okay. And what do you do when you start feeling again the opposite? You try to not notice it or like, So you try not to, when you start feeling again the opposite of spacious, just to notice it, just say, okay, I'm feeling crowded again.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. And feel the feeling.
Feel the feeling and then give yourself some fun little experiments of activating the feeling that you do want.
Okay.
Little tinies, like give yourself credit for, closing your eyes and taking a breath. Give yourself credit for looking up and around and going, oh, wow, look at all the space around me. Like play with it.
Okay. I'll do that.
Good job.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, there was a question. When is the next journal coming out? Before our February call. So that week. So the second week of February. So it's getting created this week. So I'll have to do all my fun little things to make that happen, but I'm excited. And right, who else? What else? Tell me things. Pamela?
Okay, I'll tell you
Hi.
something.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kendra.
Oh, okay. So speaking of your Clarity Quarterly, I remember watching you package them up to mail out, and I couldn't help but notice. I'm not sure if this is a thing, if you have like um a glue gun that has glitter in the glue, but there's this thing I always wished I had as a kid. And when I think about it, it makes me giddy. And then I got one like at an estate sale. It's exactly what you had. One of those, like, I don't even know what you call it, like an imprint maker for the back of an envelope. And then historically, you would drip wax and then take your imprint maker and like seal the envelope the way they seal fancy liquor or fancy envelopes in the old days. And watching you do that, I almost felt like it was this giddy little secret that I'd been holding for so long, how badly I wanted to like have a set like that. And getting it brought me so much joy. And I really liked how you embellished the experience of simply mailing some. Like, I know this was like your highlights for adults and something you've thought a lot about and put a lot of love into. But just watching you bring that to fruition and then just topping it off with the whipped cream and cherry of the like embossing set or whatever, it just brought me a lot of joy.
I love
So I like the cat's out of the bag, the secret's out. You can make it even better. You can
totally.
experience real joy even more deeply. Just no, forget about that amount of joy. We're going to make it even bigger. How can we make it
Totally.
even bigger? Shit, I'm
Totally.
even going to emboss it and laugh while I do it. Like you had a little.
Love you. Like I sit there with every one of them and I look at the name and I go, oh, like, oh, and then I drip, I push the wax through and then I do the stamp and I try to do it really thoughtfully so that it looks beautiful. And then off it goes. Like that's how I can like give you a giant hug and kiss. It's in that seal. So thank you for noticing, Kendra. That's really fun. So
I
go
could
get it
feel
because
it.
they're fun to have.
Oh man, I could feel it. And
It's great.
when it wasn't here yet, I was like, is it here? Is it here? And then when
Oh,
I saw it, as soon as I opened the mailbox and I saw that like imprint, I was like, whoa, I could feel your magical hug and love and thoughtfulness. It's
so much
beautiful, so
fun.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
That's
get mine and use
beautiful.
mine.
There's one on the way. It'll be on the way soon.
I mean, I'm gonna get my imprint
Yeah,
maker out and
do
use
it.
it too.
Do it. I love that. Mwah. That's so fun.
Mwah.
Pamela?
Yeah, actually, I would echo that. And it's such a good modeling for me to see someone just embodying that joy. It's pretty awesome. Especially in a day and age of texting, communicating just with words, on devices. That's awesome. I just wrote that down, Kendra. How can I make my joy even bigger?
Ooh, I love that. That's a great
Yeah.
question. Awesome.
Yeah. So just in general, this process, I feel surprised at how enlivened I feel. Yeah, it was really surprising. And I did take a little more time kind of on the sidelines to gather up I had started it before, but looking at 2023 and gathering up some of those successes and that really helped my confidence into 2024. Yeah, that was also kind of powerful. The looking at the dreams already accomplished and embodied, that I just think that's also one of my favorite things in life and this program. So my words, two of my words were renewed and rooted.
Ooh.
Both of which feel like that has a lot a lot packed into it, you know, but I always have a hard time condensing
I know.
it. You know, I usually have like 10 words or something. But yeah, renewed and rooted both for 2024.
That's wonderful.
The security, yeah, new starts as well as some security and stability in the rooting.
Beautiful.
So I
And
feel really grateful
appropriate for
for
the
yeah,
appropriate
yeah,
for the teen years.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Carrie. I'm really grateful.
You're so welcome. Thank you. What a treat. Yeah. And like I said, it's so many of you I've seen magic. You've made magic. So just keep trusting and doing it and playing with all of this stuff. Who else? What else? Are we done? Cassandra, are you wanting to say anything or are you just... All right, I think we're good. So I'm going to say perfect timing. Wrap it up. If you would like more, I will be available Thursday back here. I'll get you links and times before we meet. I'll send that on Wednesday. And thank you, because this was exactly what I needed. And I'm really glad that it was useful to y'all. And there's more on the way. I feel like we're just kind of getting kicked in. It was beautiful to have the pre-holidays, but now I feel like it's like, okay, let's keep going. Liz, happy birthday. Amelia, happy birthday. I'm so honored that you would spend this time on your days with us. So thank you. And I just love you all. So thank you. Honestly, this is a dream come true, and having you with me is miraculous. And so I send you off with every bit of my love. You'll get a new book and a stamp with all of my love in it in a few weeks. And just go play. Now you did it. You're done for the day. Go outside, move around, go hug your people, let this all go, and just enjoy and keep fortifying yourselves. It's worth it. Thank you, everybody. Bye.